What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, what's going on? Like, what's going on? Why do we look different in the camera than we look in the... When I look in the mirror, I see this smooth skin, and it's like, I don't like being on camera, y'all. As much as I do it, if I could, I would just take the academics route and just only... All right, cool. I do it. If I could, I would just take the academics route. What's going on? All right, cool. I do it.
Still an echo, brother.
Still an echo on delay.
Hey, yo, listen.
Right,
Listen. You go live.
What's going on?
You go live, and I'm gonna go in the house on my phone, and I'm gonna see if I can get it on the phone. You go live.
Okay.
You go live. Be back. And I'm gonna go in the house.
Yeah, he can't. Okay. Is it still an echo? 2, 3 people that's in here. This ain't her. Otherwise, I'm gonna just say we gonna do it some other time. Like, maybe it'd be better through his phone. Cause yeah, I haven't had that problem, but I've only done this with people through my phone. Hold on. Yo. Shout out where you from. In the building. Shout out something in the chat. I'm gonna try to have more of these for y'all. Man, it's been a journey, man, since I started. I used to go live over there a lot, but it was more relevant as to what was going on while I was there. Now, so I've been having requests to collab. I've been like, nah, bro. But Stace has always been an amazing cat. He's been in South Africa. He's moving there with his wife soon. So, he's going back in Jan. Well, actually December. He's going back in December. But we'll see him next year. And Yeah, man, really cool brother. Always, having me on his podcast. So I want to start having a couple people, you too, who was amazing, who has a dope podcast. I want to have him on as well. And just working on quality of things. I know it's rough in the beginning, streaming, but I got y'all. It'll get better. Um, and yeah, man, I appreciate y'all coming through. I think we just gonna have to do it another. Okay. Yo,
Yeah.
yeah, this. I think
We good
this
now?
is. I think it's good now.
All right.
But
What's going on?
yeah, I was just. I've been talking about the Kanye thing a lot, and I wanted to talk about why black men, the state of black men in America, and why South Africa in particular is a better move for us. Like, why are people moving from the States? Which I know you cover a lot on your pod. But I think it just made me think about it because even people that are like in big positions like Kanye or Steve Harvey comes over a lot. Just how we're condemned here, even if you're doing well. You look at Kanye, he has money, he has status, and still, if he speaks his mind, though part of what he said was kind of rough, some of the things that he says is true when it's relative to our community and who has ownership. But then you see they still treat him like an NIGGA. At the end of the day, it's like it don't matter how much you get, you got to shut up and dribble, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I mean, no, you gotta realize this too, that no matter how much money he have, no matter how much fame he got, he's still that N-word. And I think sometimes these guys think they just so big to where they're an exception.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any exceptions, but like you said, some things that he said was true.
Yeah.
You speak on that Jewish community harshly, you can get canceled. You can lose
Absolutely.
everything.
Absolutely.
I seen something a few weeks ago on the Breakfast Club where Leo Cohen was on there. It's an old interview though, and
Okay.
they was talking about all the stuff that's going on in the black community, the opioids and the fentanyl and all of that, and they said that's the worst thing that happened to the black community since crack.
Mm.
And Charlemagne asked him straight up and down. He's like, "Well, if that's the case, why are you hired? Why are you putting people to work? And that's all they talk about is fentanyl and opioids and getting high, And then he said that, his ending statement was, "You better be careful because you're gonna be considered a culture vulture because you're making
Yeah.
money off of the off of our backs and knowing that it's a bunch of sick people, man."
Mm-hmm.
So, and Kanye even said it. Kanye said, "Yo, if they're making money off of our what's the word I'm looking for?
Oh, like off our pain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what they're doing. And the thing is this: the Jewish community has the same pains. The white communities have the same pain. Russian
Yeah.
communities. But why? No, he used the word exploit. But why?
Mm.
Why are the blacks the ones that are exploited? It's like that's America's thing. Let's exploit the blacks.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Somebody's saying True Serm is saying he spoke harshly about black people. He is a white supremacist. Um, and that boy is nobody's victim. So I think what I heard him say
I know he did the White Lives Matter thing, right? And he explained that. Um,
Right.
what did he say that was harsh about black people? I'm trying to think.
What he said was the slavery topic, that
Oh,
slavery was a option. And what he
choice.
also said was uh, the way he's being treated right now, it's like his like the knee is on his neck now,
Mm,
and I don't understand how he can relate one to the other.
yeah.
And it seems like all these rich guys, what they tend to do is when the heat get when the heat is on them, they want to incorporate God, because he said that right now everybody's crucifying him, but he's not worrying about it. 'Cause God got his back. He said, "You can take 2 million from me. I don't care. That's the church's money. God know where my heart's at."
Mm,
I don't understand any of that. You know,
yeah. Yeah. So the slavery was a choice thing. I think he later interpreted that as modern day slavery, like working a 9 to 5, and how the system is set up for you to just be a consumer and buy your house and your car and work for 60 years, then retire, and then you die because it's not much time left and you stress yourself out working for the man. That's how I took that. Um, and he elaborated at some point. Uh, so yeah, I didn't really take that to heart. I
no,
didn't
I
really
didn't
take that to
either.
heart.
I didn't either. But I mean, still though, some people would.
Yeah.
Everybody's not meant to be, 100,000 or a millionaire. You got to have those folks that makes the 40, $50,000 to make the world go around.
That's a fact.
So so it seems like from him saying what he said, I mean, think about this. Growing up, what did your grandparents tell you? You get on that job, you work that man's job, you retire, don't steal nothing, you retire,
Hmm.
and you live comfortably. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It
Or
ain't the
go
new
to school.
right.
Or
The
go to
new
school. Yeah.
generation, the new generation nowadays, they have a little more. Well, hopefully the parents are telling them more than just go to school. I mean, I tell my kids in a minute, yo, nah, try to figure out a way you don't have to punch nobody's clock.
Hmm.
Be your own boss. My parents ain't tell me that.
Yeah.
My grandmother ain't tell me that. You know what I'm saying? So it's up for us now because we see how the system works. You
Facts.
know, the system wants to keep us down. We got a few that gets out. And we
Hmm.
got a lot that's making really damn good money.
Hmm.
But that's not how it was designed.
Right.
At least I don't think that.
Yeah. No. Yes, you have to have workers. Not everybody's gonna be the boss. Like a lot of rhetoric that we get from the hip hop community, from social media when it comes to entrepreneurs and motivational speakers. I would say Gary Vee is one of the most realistic because he's like, it's okay to be a number 3 or number 4 and just, like that's cool. Not everybody's going to be Kanye. Um, and it's really what makes you happy. For me, freedom makes me happy. So if that comes in being self sufficient and having my own, that's cool. Do I think I'm going to be a billionaire? No, but I think millionaire is realistic in my lifetime and the opportunities that we have. And I think for here in particular, or anywhere, if you were raised poor, like I was, where like it wasn't dirt poor, like we always had food, I had clothes, like, but poor in the sense of like we didn't have college funds, we didn't have like our whole life set up. That trauma carries with you, and then like, yo, I gotta be rich because I gotta be the one for my family, and
Right.
generational curse out. And it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. If your parents didn't have it, and then you feel like you gotta be the one to do it. but it also should be what makes you happy. You know, you're going back to South Africa, like that's part of what makes you happy. You know, it's like you have options. You are taking your life in control and not just being like, yo, this is it. Like I just gotta be in America and I'm gonna do this and that. I think that's a big key, because money doesn't make you happy, even though it can solve some problems. You know, I know people like, what? Like, give me $1 million right now, I'll be happy. But
you get that $1 million, man, you're gonna get a bunch of headaches with it too. Because now people gonna come out the woodworks. That's your cousin. This is your cousin. That's your cousin. Everybody knocking on your door trying to get a couple dollars.
Yeah.
You know, it's a gift and a curse. You know.
Facts.
You know, did you see that show with Kevin Hart and Jay-Z?
No.
It's about maybe 4 months old. Kevin Hart
he interviewed him.
He interviewed Jay, yeah, and Kevin asked him, so what is it like when you go home for Thanksgiving and you're the one that made it, and you got all these cousins and nieces and nephews, they come to you with, yo, I have a plan, yo, just give me $10,000, you know, and you're gonna get rich.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they was like, yo, that's just not how it happens. You know, it takes more than just the money aspect of it to get rich. You know, and then when you tell them no, they get like, yo, you acting all brand new.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that ain't right. You know, how many times have you done something for somebody? You every time they ask you, yes, yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And at one time you tell them no, they forget about all the yeses.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man.
Yeah, man. I agree. Yeah, it's interesting, and I'll say I am fortunate where my close family, they're most people I can trust. Like I could see that happening in a way that they would want to do something with me, but I don't think that I have to deal with that. Like people in my life like that, I started cutting out early or over the last 5 years, you know, whether it's friends or, you know, distant fan, whatever. Like if you're just somebody that I feel like doesn't have my best interest in mind, I don't really rock with you like that anyway. So if anything, I would just give them the money. Like it's just like not even a loan, because that's the thing too. I don't like people owing me. I don't like owing people. When I was young, my uncle like gave me $20. Yeah. And I remember like I was so happy. I was like 8, so $20 was like a lot of money. And then I was working for my other uncle, so I got paid again. And I was like, damn, now I gotta get this $20 right back to him. Like I'm knowing what it feels like to pay a bill, a debt. And he gave me the $20 back. He was like, don't ever owe nobody money. Right. And then ever since then, like I just never like owing people money. So even if somebody asks me for something, it's like, it's a gift. You can have that, right? And if you mess it up, now that's on you. I don't feel that, like that guilt is gone. It's like, well, you fumbled the bag. So I think that's how I would deal with it. And then, you know, doing business with family is kind of sticky, man. So you gotta be, just gotta be careful. But yeah, man, I think I see what Jay's talking about. For me, I deal with survivor's remorse of being like somebody that got out. You know, making it out of Baltimore is an accomplishment. Yes. You know what I mean? You know, so yes. Like, you know, that's like graduating. It's like, oh, you made it out alive, and you ain't got no felonies. Like, so that's like a thing. And I do deal with that sometimes. Like, damn, I wish that some other people I love could see it for themselves or could get out, you know, and do what they really want to do. And I have some fam that's doing their thing, you know, and they turn their life around. It's a beautiful thing. But you know, I think that's something that I think all of us deal with as we get older and we see life in a different way. Like, man, like, you know, we're really fortunate to make it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, why tell the people why South Africa for you, man, and one, you know, a little bit about like your upbringing in America, like what you feel it is like for you living here versus your experience there.
All right. Well, I grew up in a middle class family, man. So I don't have a lot of those hardships that, some other guys may have. I
Okay.
grew up in mother, father in the household, in this little small town in South Carolina called Georgetown. I was born in New York, but I was raised in South Carolina.
Right.
My father was a steel mill worker,
Oh wow.
in the 70s and 80s, making $850 $1,000 was a lot of money, especially for a black man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I grew up pretty good. I got three brothers and a sister. We all grew up, like I said, together. Um, so fast forward, I went to Iraq to get my family to Houston.
Mm.
Okay. So I did my stay in Iraq, moved my family to Houston, stayed in Houston now for 11 years. And then after that, we was just watching TV. My wife was watching TV, and she saw the I can never pronounce it right. Reparation to Ghana.
Reparations, yeah.
To Ghana.
Okay.
So I wasn't on board with it. I'm just like, yeah, we can go visit. We can go visit. But she was really, really passionate about it. She's doing a bunch of research, and so I'm gonna support my wife. All right, if you want to do it, I want to do it. You know what I mean? That's what it was. So my cousin Wayne, you met Wayne before, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah, and at the time, he had a girlfriend. He has a girlfriend that stays in Joburg. So
Oh.
yeah, so he's right in Pretoria. So I'm talking to him. He's telling me, "Yo, Ghana's nice, man, but look into Joburg." So we looked into Joburg, did a bunch of research, ran across the real South Africa as most people do, and I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
we fell in love with Joburg, and mentally we was in Houston, but we was really living in Joburg.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So then when we finally visited, it just confirmed every belief that we had, everything that we saw, everything that we talked about. Within
Yeah.
24 hours, it was like Joburg is where we need to be at.
Yeah.
So from that point on, man, it's been gung ho. Everything is Joburg, and the people that we talk to, when they try to tell us no this, no that, we put them in a box.
Right.
We don't talk to them about Joburg. We talk to them about basketball, football, drinking, smoking, whatever.
Yeah.
But that
Whatever they.
topic,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But that topic of Joburg is not for discussion,
I feel it.
because we're not on the same page.
Yeah.
And I don't need anybody telling me, no, don't do this, no, don't do that, trying to give me some bad energy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. That's how we came across Joburg. And that's why we moving there December 9th.
Let's go. Yeah, man. That's
That's
beautiful.
that's
That's
what
a
it is,
beautiful
man.
story, man. Yeah,
That's
I
what it
feel
is.
you. I feel you, man. You can't tell everybody your dreams. I spoon feed it to people, just cause like I don't want it to just be a total shock. Like I did it when I first went, I ain't even tell nobody I just went. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I eventually hit people when I got there, and then Zoe came out, and we really wanted to experience. So I didn't even shoot no YouTube or nothing. I just really was like experiencing it. And then when I went back the second time, I was like, all right, we gotta put our stamp on it. And yeah, man, you gotta protect that. It's special, man. Not everybody. I think we were talking about this last time. Like, not everybody understands, even if they react what we would consider negative, like, oh, don't do that and it's dangerous and all those things, they're coming from a place of not knowing, or they're projecting their own fears onto you. They couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't leave that job or where they grew up or family, whatever ties them to not wanting to go somewhere else and exploring, which is cool for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's still rooted in a place of love where they just don't know, Same thing with parents that want you to go to college. It's like, you gotta go to college because they didn't go to college and they think that's the only way you can, live a good life and get a good job. And if you want to be a doctor, that's cool. But we have options now where we don't have to live this cookie cutter, the life that made sense in the 80s or 90s is not the life that makes sense now. We can work remotely. We can do virtual podcast. We can do this,
Right.
in the 90s, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, what the future is now, man. And I think that what you're doing is great. Me and Zoe have great admiration for you and Red and what you're doing, and we support you. And, you're going to see in a couple years, whether you know it or not, that's history. You're going to be the first when more Black Americans come, just like you saw Real South Africa. They was like, no, we were watching Stacey and Red and and then we saw them when they moved. You know what I mean? That means something.
Yeah.
That means something.
Yeah. You're right. You're right, man. Me and Red was talking about that a few days ago. It's like, I think we was talking about it too. It's like we are ahead. Like you said, we are ahead of the movement. You know what I mean? We might be a few years behind the real South Africa, but in comparison to hopefully the next people that come behind us, you're right. We are definitely in the forefront.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this content that we put out so important. Because they hear so much bad stuff about it. For the past 3 days, I was on my Facebook page. I've been putting up like pictures of where me and my wife gonna go at. Like the first week, the first day we land, 2 days later we in Durban. You know what I'm saying? So I'm putting up pictures of Durban. And I'm pretty sure our brothers and sisters here don't know that it looks like that in Durban.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then like the next day I think I put Zimbabwe and Zambia, the Victoria Falls. You know what I'm saying? They had no idea about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then tomorrow I'm gonna put Cape Town. Because we're gonna be in Cape Town when you guys in Cape Town. Our
Can't
people
wait.
don't. Oh man, it's gonna be crazy. Our people don't know about that, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's really up to us to flood our social medias so our people can see, yo, go back home, man. Not saying you got to move there.
Yeah.
But just go witness it. Put your feet on the ground, man. I can only imagine how our ancestors are feeling right now. Us going back voluntarily.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
They loving it, man.
They supporting us for sure. It's no coincidence how we linked up, how Julie, and any of the people that I've met during this process, we're family. We have groups, we share information. Like that's never happened to me before, where I've been on a journey and got so much support and met so many like-minded people, and it was just like, it lets me know that it's a higher power, and like you said, our ancestors like connecting us. Are you and Red going to get your DNA test?
Oh, you did that already.
Or you did it? I didn't see you post it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you the sad part about this whole thing is that you just said something really important. You said like-minded people, and then it's also people that you don't even know personally. You just know them through YouTube.
Yeah.
You know them through TikTok. and they are supporting you. They riding with you. But then you got people that was in the sandbox with you, playing marbles with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
When you was 5 years old. You know what I'm saying? Those are the ones
Yeah.
that you would think that are supporting you, but those are the ones that are telling you, yo, man, what are you doing? Yo, don't go over there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy, man. That's why I think that's why, we so passionate about the people in SA because you don't know us from a can of paint, man. You know
Facts.
what I'm saying? And you supporting us like this, wanna
Yeah.
wanna wanna host us for dinners and inviting us to ceremonies, and
Yeah.
it's like, damn, really, man?
Yeah, man.
I wish I had known what I know now when I was 25 years old. I would have been there, yo, bro. I would have been there during apartheid time.
You've been out there fighting.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I would have been out there way back when, man.
Yeah. I thought about that. If I knew when I was like, I moved from Baltimore when I was 19. Um, if I knew, I would have just, I went to school for a little bit. As soon as I got out, I've been like straight to SA or
Yeah.
Africa in general. Because my aunt and uncle used to live in Liberia, and
Okay.
they would tell us, and that's where Khalees comes from. Khalees is my real name. It's my middle name. I have a long name, so um, some of these things since birth were in me, and it's divine. They were teaching me Swahili and celebrating Kwanzaa and doing things that like already it was like, nah, this is home. My mother was always, wearing kente cloth. Like, so when this happened, it was just like, oh shoot, this it almost feels like, I've been in this bubble, and then you break out, you're like, oh
No,
shoot, it's a whole new world, like, which is beautiful. That's a part of growth. That's how you know you're growing, right? You can't stay the same. So, fortunately, I have fam that is very supportive and friends, and if they're not, they don't say nothing.
you had the advantage, man. I'm hating a little bit. You had the advantage, man. My mom and dad from New York. You know what I'm saying? And straight up hustlers. My dad is. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like that. It was in the house was basically, just go to school, dad going to work, mom going to work, come home, do your chores, do your homework, take a shower, go to bed. You know what I'm saying? The typical middle class, you know, house. You know what I'm saying? Household. It wasn't no white Jesus on my walls, and it was black Santa Clauses and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
it was no talk of Africa.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I grew up with those same jokes, probably even saying those same dumb jokes,
Yeah.
that all the black kids used to say about Africa. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So I'm just glad that I woke up when I did. And I'm even more glad that I'm doing it on my own terms. And I'm doing it while all my limbs are working the way they're supposed to work. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody got to
Yeah.
push me around. I don't have no oxygen machine, to make it help me breathe. I don't have to walk with a limp. You know what I'm saying? I can actually do and have fun when I go there, and
Yeah.
really enjoy what we've missed for 400 plus years, man. Because we are definitely disconnected.
Yeah.
We're definitely that.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Definitely this. I was talking to somebody about that yesterday because I was on TikTok live, and they were like, "Where are you from? Where are your parents from?" And it's like they black. Like, I don't really know. It's Native American. Every black person is like, we got Native American, and
Hmm.
my dad is some Irish back in there because his last name is McGee, but he's your complexion. Like, so I mean, both of them are just black. So
Right.
we don't really, we would have to trace. I know my great grandmother had some white in her. She might have been like 50-50. There's a debate there because we don't know exactly who both her parents are. But I suspect that she was biracial. And my grandmother, my mother's mother, was pretty black too. So that being her mother, I figured she had some mixture up in there too. But aside from that, when it comes to the African roots, it's like, I don't know. And I think I've been hesitant to take it. Like, I could have taken it by now, but I think I'm almost kind of scared to know, like, exactly where I'm from, because that just opens up a whole new thing. Now I'm gonna have to go there, and it's, it's just a lot. It's like finding out who your parents are. It's like, hold up, now I got this, now I got family out there that I don't even know. Like, so, I'm trying to take it one step at a time, man. But it's like you said, it is freeing getting connected, and that's one thing. Everybody, whether they're Zulu, Xhosa, like, they know. And it's empowerment in that. And I think that is part of why a lot of Black people are insecure. As powerful as we are, if you don't know where you're from, if like you don't just have that, then you kind of feel lost. You kind of feel lost in America. And that's why, I think that's why a lot of people are so easy influenced by certain things that we shouldn't be within our community, because we're being programmed other than like being secure and standing in who we are. We're being told we're told what Black culture is. Even going back to what Kanye was saying, like, how it's okay for rappers to talk about shooting and selling drugs and different things. But if you talk about this, if you talk about Black empowerment, it doesn't get as much. Right. That's not promoted like that. And that's called Black culture. You're like, oh, this is Black culture, but is it? Like, how much are we being told what it is instead of being influenced by what's presented to us? So, not that, things don't happen in Africa. Africa has a hood, but at the same time, the way that their family is set up, the way people treat you like family, it's
crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I had this one guy ask me a few weeks ago, right before I stopped working. He said, "Why are you stopping?" He said, "Why are you stopping work?" I said, "Because me and my family are moving to Africa." And the question he said after that was so crazy to me. He said, "Why are you moving there? Do you have family there?"
Yeah.
I gave him a simple answer. Yeah. He said, "Who?" I said, "The whole continent." The whole continent. Get out of here. The whole continent is my family. You know what I'm saying? You get so many strange. Now, let me ask you a question then. If I was saying I was moving to Europe, would I get that question? If I was moving to China, you know what I'm saying? Would I get those questions?
No. People always question that. What's good, Farrah?
Farrah. Fabulous Farrah.
Fabulous Farrah.
Clicked on the link. I said, "What's this?" You posted a link in the group, and I was like, "What's this?"
Oh yeah. I figured somebody was gonna slide in there.
I'm wild for that one.
What's good?
Jesus, man. So what's good? What's good?
Shout out to Latifah and Kennedy. We just talking about the move. Space and Red are about to go to SA in December, so I wanted to have him on and really talk about, what inspires him and what it's like being here versus there. And it's been pretty amazing so far.
Yeah, I heard. I was listening to him. I was like, he was talking about what other people perceive when you tell people when you go on to Africa and etc. I was like, yo, that's the real deal, Holyfield. You got some people that get it because it's trending, you know what I mean? And some people that'll be like, you know what I mean? You got, it's a different thing. And it's like when you got different family members and stuff, they listening, they talking, they this, they that. You got some that are, unluckily, I have a few brothers that are getting it, you know what I mean? And then I got people that don't get it, you know what I mean? And so my thing is, You got to be a real strong person to do this. You know what I mean? You got to be a leader, not a follower, because you're not gonna be able to, handle all the backwash, because there's gonna be some backwash. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then you got white people. I was sitting up in a conference, and when he said that he had his own experience, et cetera, et cetera, I was sitting up in a conference, and there was a Kenyan lady there, and she was from the Luya tribe, the Lay tribe, because you got the Lou or Luo, the Lua tribe, and I know the difference between two. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I was talking to her. I was telling, going to, Africa, yada, yada, yada. And the lady was like, the white lady jumped in the two sisters conversation and had the audacity to jump in and then tell me, oh, why do you want to go to Africa? And when he was speaking, and I was just thinking about that conversation that had happened, that here I am talking to another African woman, another woman of color, about me going to Africa, and we're chopping it up. And here is somebody who's not even in conversation coming, we're across the room, and here is talking about Africa. And she comments and she's like, oh, I've been to Kenya, I've been to so-and-so, I've been to so-and-so. And then looks over to me and said, but why are you going to Africa? As if I don't belong there, or as if it was something that I shouldn't be able, but they shouldn't be able. And I was like, well, and I looked at her because it was a better professional event, because I couldn't give her, I would have given her the third of Manila, but I ain't gonna give her the third of Manila in the public. Y'all know what I'm saying? Because I would have gave her that third of Manila. You feel me? I don't know, but I kept it professional. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I didn't give her the thrill of Manila. And sometimes you got to play this game with them. You know what I mean? So I said, interesting. Why are you going? And she looked at me and said, well, I said, no, but seriously, but why are you going? Yeah. You know what I mean? And then she said, well, I've been there before. I said, okay, well, why are you going back? And I know that you've been there before. I know you guys been there, and you guys have came and doing a Berlin conference, and I started mentioning historical events. Then she piped down. Because when you start mentioning historical events and what they did over there, you know what I mean? As Europeans, they don't want to be proud of that. So then they shut down. Yeah. So when she said, her second reply was, I've been there before. And I said, yeah, of course, I know you've been there before. Y'all came in at the Berlin conference, and y'all invaded then. You invaded. I started dropping these dates. And that's what she was like. Christ. She felt embarrassed, and she kind of tiptoed at his own, you know what I mean? So, and that's how you can be in those zones publicly in a professional space and be educated. So that's why you got to know the history that they didn't teach us, so that you can use it. It can be a weapon in these type of situations. So yeah, I wasn't gonna let her put me in that Thriller Manila zone in public, but I can't say what would happen behind closed doors if that wasn't the case. But
get them hands.
With the smoke.
I'm just saying. I think I'm more of a Malcolm X. I don't know if I'm Martin Luther King, because I mean, I love Martin Luther King, but I just, I think I've been more of a Malcolm X.
Yeah. Honestly, I think a lot of people in this generation would probably lean towards Malcolm more than Martin. I'm sorry. This generation here, I think it'd be a whole lot more X's, yo.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think though you're right. Queen does
a lot of us not playing them games, man, the way our parents, well, probably not our parents, but our grandparents.
Our grandparents, for sure.
Yeah, for sure, our grandparents.
How old are y'all? My parents old as crap. I mean,
well, I mean, my
parents came out and still
my father is a second generation free man.
Okay, well, my grandparents came out of civil rights, and then my grandparents on my mom's side survived the Tulsa massacre, and that's a story within itself. But she lost her father because of her father, which is my great grandfather, was just came back he was a veteran from the World War II, you know what I mean? And and there's a story behind that, and he was down there fighting, and my grandmother was a baby, and he died, and her mother left with my grandmother, and fled. But after that, so this is a whole big story behind that. Um,
I wish I can get my grandmother. I'm gonna tell y'all this, and I'm telling y'all the God's honest truth. Okay,
you know,
today, right now, my grandmother is 103 years old. She can just the way me and you talking right now. She sounds just as clear as we sound.
I mean
And
that's amazing.
now,
That's amazing, man.
granted, her memory is not 100%. It might be at about 70, 75%.
Mm.
And because of COVID, I can't really have a conversation like I want, because I want to actually document everything that she's been through, because like I said, she's 103. So
Yeah,
you can imagine how many different wars and Jim Crow and Tulsa all the other stuff that she went through,
Yeah.
yeah.
and she was never a slave. You know what I'm
That's
Mm.
dope.
saying?
That's
So
amazing.
I wish I can have a conversation. I talked to her, but if I was able to go see her, I would be able to document all of this, and because it's a very interesting story.
Yeah. Well, when you do,
It's
I
important.
sure like to know. I would like if you ever wanted to have somebody go up on a Zoom and take it. I don't know how that's gonna happen, but anyway, we would just pray with Ian and hope that that day comes. So that's man, we do need to document our elders because they do have the history that's not whitewashed. You know what I mean? Because
And
they doing too much
that's
now.
what it's about. It's not whitewash. But Farrah, what I do want to do is, I meant to call you back, but
Oh,
I do have something I want to talk to you about off air, because I have something that I want to do, and I think
okay.
us three and a few other Americans, and I have an
We
idea
can
that
do it.
we can make something happen.
Oh, you know I'm
Okay.
always down for the people. Woo woo. I'm always down for the
Yeah.
people.
No,
You
I'm
for
know,
sure.
always
For
down.
sure. I would love that.
hey,
We going
what do y'all think about that
Read the
whole
comments.
situation about U.S. Telling South Africa about an attack?
Oh my
so
God. Don't get me started. You go
Oh,
ahead, Kelly. Cause
well, I was gonna say I saw what happened in Santon. Um you saw them rob the store. It was like 12 people and they stole, no, it was 6 people and they stole
I
12
thought that was
million rand
was it
but
worth
that
of.
Midland? I thought it was Midland. It's Santon.
but
I
that
saw him
had
run up
nothing
out
to
that
do
store.
with.
I
I,
know, I'm just saying
oh, okay,
It was
okay.
I
12, it was
saw
12
that
of them.
story, and on the day that the attack was supposed to happen, that's what happened. And people were on Twitter, because I'm all over South African Twitter. So they were like, "Yo, like the security is trash because they're supposed to be surveilling the area for attack, and somebody's able to rob somebody like in broad daylight, like 6 people. Like
Well,
that's
and
crazy."
their
And they
defense,
But
ain't
I
even
think it was
run. It was
12.
a fast walk. It was a
yeah,
fast walk.
it's a stroll.
They weren't even running that fast. Hey, yo, I saw them running across the parking lot. They weren't even running that fast. Hey, yo, they were going slow and slow. I saw the same
Yeah,
thing. I'm not even in shit. I think I run up a little bit.
yeah.
It's
So,
hilarious.
Farrah, what do you think about that? 'Cause it seemed like you have some input on it.
Man, you know, I have a lot of extra inside information on that. You guys know that I talk directly to both embassies and the higher up on that. Um, and I think I've said some things to the both of you guys, you know, off camera, just how things are, ran in a certain sense. And we're gonna put that in there because I think my people's that's watching this can read between the line. You know what I mean? So, but I am
Mhm.
going to say this. I'm going to say this
Yes. Mm.
is anytime, and we always said this, anytime there's a movement and an awakening amongst the people, don't think that nobody's watching you or
Mm.
watching the movement or seeing the people awakening. And always remember what they've done in other countries in those wealth gaps, not just in Africa, the continent of Africa, and you got Haiti, you got all those jokers there.
Mm.
There's a wealth gap. But the gap in that wealth only matters when you don't have European dollars, euros, pounds, dollars, yada, yada, yada. Because those are the areas where the invaders reside. So even when they gave the power back, they also put a little hooker rink in there or rinkadink in there to ensure that they was always going to even have a capitalized hand on there in play. So when they see people of color who are coming from these invaders' land and start making movements, and now we are people of color, but we have these, dollars, euros, pounds, and we're able to now go into these countries and we start doing things and having this awakening and open up businesses. Well, we're messing with the hooker rink. And the hooker rink is the wealth gap. Because now you got the black people don't got hip to the cheat code.
Yeah.
To the system. There's a cheat code to the system that was created within the system to keep a gap going. But if once people start messing with that system and that cheat code, you're going to have people trying to scare you away. And I think there's a lot of ways stuff going. We got terrorist attacks that happen in America all day, every day. There's always somebody shooting up a school, a cemetery, a funeral home. It's always somebody bombing somebody, a bomb threat. Pelosi and her husband got attacked with hammers. Come on now. We have politicians that got attacked with hammers, ran the phone with hammers. And yet we're across the, ocean, a couple oceans, trying to tell what's going on over there and trying to make it a big scene. You would think what's happening in South Africa is so much bigger than the United States. The United States has mass shootings, school shootings, cemetery shootings, funeral shootings, politicians getting ran down on, bomb threats over here, bomb threats over here. I mean, it's something all day, every day. But you don't see the embassy saying, by the way, don't come to America because if you go to the mall there, you're going to get shot up. You know what I mean? You don't see those things. Or if you go to the airport, if you go to mass gatherings. We had so many bomb threats all the time on special gatherings. You don't see those things. We don't have poisons and all that stuff. But it's just a game tactic. And so everybody that's watching, coming, going, staying, whatever you are in the world, always be empowered in yourself. Don't, if you got something you want to go, if it's moving across the world, if it's moving to Africa, stick to it. Stick to it, believe in yourself, and don't back down. Because you will get tested and there will be people trying to make you back down. You come from the worst possible situations that could be. It can't get no worse than what we've been through and we don't see in our country. And that's the way I feel about it. So when I heard it, I was just like, all right, cool. I'm used to that. That happens all day in America. So what? But the next person may not have that mindset. And I want to encourage everybody else to have that mindset. And don't forget that.
I agree 100%. I knew it was BS when I first heard it, because they know, they keep track of the Americans, the Black Americans movement, the way we move. So they know that we're going to SA in numbers. They know that right now is the summertime in SA. Summertime is approaching in SA right now. And they know that we are going there. They know we're going to spend our US dollars there. You know what I'm saying? They don't want that. They don't want the economy to flourish. You know what I'm saying? They know the potential of Africa. That's why they're there. That's why they're there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't listen to anything that they say. I don't listen to anything that anybody else say negative. I just want to talk to and mingle with like-minded people or open-minded people. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody else, to me, doesn't even matter, man. And that's that family, everybody can get it. I don't care. Family, friends, if you're not on my page,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Because I pay my own bills. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
I know, right?
You know what I mean? So
I always pass a collection plate around. Stop.
Damn right. Damn right.
But
stop passing it around.
I think that it's going to be met with resistance. It's funny because that's part of why I didn't really post like that the first time, because you got to be careful. Like people, not everybody has your best interest in mind, and more so than just the scare tactics. Like it's people that actually try to hurt you because they don't want you, doing better for yourself, or they think you have money or whatever. People, they don't know us. They just know what they see. So they, it's going to be people that, try to test you. I had posted something about, I had posted a video in my place and I won't even say where it was at, but it was in Joburg. And somebody recognized the window because they have specific, like it's a loft, and they just have very distinct windows in this building. And they were like, "Oh, you live here," and I immediately got another place, like, and it just kept
Damn.
them on the side. You know what I mean? Just to have like another, because I'm like, you saying that, it's not a threat, but
It's not
you
good.
catch me walking out, or yeah, something can happen.
That's
So,
what happened to old boy. They got killed the rapper. They found out what his address was. Remember, he had like the numbers posted up, and listen, we as Black Americans, we know the deal. We got to do this.
Yeah, so there's that, and yeah, like you said, there's a bigger agenda, where people don't necessarily want to. So we do have to be. Is somebody in the group that's over there that don't post like that, and I empathize with her. I was like, you know what, she's right. Like if she's a woman and she's there by herself and she's posted, like, it's not for everybody. As much as we want to be.
I didn't post when I went down. I ain't tell nobody. Listen, first of all, I was down there for business, and I was on a mission. I was on a serious mission because, like I said, I actually got like a job. You know what I mean? Well, it's a company, but it's job still. So I was like, I was just in the zone, and you know what I mean. And I wanted to like, okay, I'll come back. Let me focus, and then I'll do all that later. Plus, they don't really allow you to film a lot of stuff, and so I said, and then I found out that once I get settled, even more so, they're gonna give me certain approvals to do certain things. So that's why I was like, I just take it. Let me just, I just did it. I just didn't like pressing the issue when I first got down. After I got told no a few times about videotaping, I kind of bad back because it was my first time there. I didn't want to start no drama, and I just stopped, and I just didn't want to keep going. But this, when I get everything settled now, I know the chain of command of how to do it, officially. I'm good. But and when I first went down there, after I got told no a few times, first that made me bad back. Then two, I was trying to sort some things out, and I like to get things sorted before I start exposing where I'm at. You know what I mean? And then two, I had some family members talking trash, and I just wanted to get sorted so I can really, I can really show up and show out. You know what I mean? And then they can be watching me. Now I got really sorted to do it how I want to do it, and I know they're gonna be watching me. They're gonna be like all up on it. You know what I mean? Now it's like, cool. Let me move. And that's cool. That's cool.
You just post after too. Like what Zoe's saying, if we somewhere and we post it after we leave. Even if we staying in Johannesburg, if we at specific locations, we gonna post it and we already home, or we, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's a way to do it. And then close friends, we have our own private chats for the most part. I trust people that are in the chats, and if they not, we gonna find out who they are.
Right. Speaking of Zoe, I got a question about you and Zoe.
Yeah.
I told you Red was the one that put the fire under me. Out of you two, which one first said, "Let's think about going to Africa"?
Oh, I thought you could say who gonna get married when y'all wedding day.
That's a different live.
That's a different conversation.
My bad. Go ahead.
Taking donations for Labola. Labola. But yeah, I was the first one that went. So, I put the fire under both of us, and then she came out to see me, and once she saw it, she had to see it. She always loved Africa. Zoe is very Afrocentric, but I don't think she knew much about what it was like to live in Johannesburg, and she fell in love with, she bougie, so she likes Santon, and and then from there it was like, all right, we could do this.
So it was an easy conversation.
It was an easy conversation, but she was like kind of weary because of her mom was sick at the time, and then her mom passed away recently, so that was like a thing where it was like she talked about it with her mom before she passed, and her mom gave us the blessing, and then she passed, so it was like even more so like, wow, like we have an ancestor that's going to see us, on the journey. So
that's what's up.
It got deeper. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's what's up.
Okay. And y'all don't have any kids either, so that's another part that make the transition a little bit easier. Mine Mine's all grown now, so
I'm coming with a whole. I got a
They
baby and
gotta
a
visit.
family. Don't get me started. Shoot, I'm just packing a whole generation in front of me.
yeah, you got what, 3 generations going,
Three
Yeah.
generations.
and a dog, and a dog.
Yeah, and the dogs. Yeah. Lord of mercy. That dog. That dog gonna
That
get ate by
dog
a
is something
lion.
else.
You
She
better
didn't
put him
even
on
hmm
a
that dog a
safari.
human.
That's
That's a
what's up.
human.
That's
She
what's
he's
up.
like a human too, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
But
This
look,
is
we
will be watching over us for sure. Okay,
absolutely.
So,
Long live Mama Cookie. She's amazing.
that's what's up.
And I'm glad I got to meet her because she didn't get to meet my mom. My mom passed right before me and Zoe met. But I know she's
um,
with us too, and we spread her ashes out there in Soweto. So
oh,
it's
it's nice. That's
like I
nice.
said, man, it's deeper. You know, like some people just doing. You know, you see people doing it for fun and all that stuff. It's like that's cool. We gonna have fun, but
Right.
hmm
it's it's more than that now. You know what I mean? Like I gotta do it. I gotta
Yeah.
at least try. I was even telling my brother the other day, it's like I might live there for 5 years and be like, all right, well, this ain't for me. You know what I mean? Go to
Right,
Ghana,
right.
But at
whatever.
least you tried. You
But
know what I
I'm
mean?
going to do it. You gotta do it. Yeah.
Right.
I,
So
I had a friend that told me, "Yo, what if you come back in 5 years? I'm gonna laugh at you." I said, "Laugh all you want, man. You're gonna still be in the same place as
right.
you sitting in while you laughing five
At
years
least
from
you
now."
got experience.
You
You
know what I'm
got
saying?
experience.
I did. So just imagine how my 5 years gonna be compared to your 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Well,
be
one thing I
seeing some
can
stuff,
say,
and that's why I'm saying you got to put people in the box, man. You leave all that negative energy. You keep that shit to yourself, man. Because right now,
right,
Yeah.
everybody that's going to make this move, we are gung ho we are ahead of everybody else. We're gonna do great things when we get there. We're gonna motivate people to actually come behind us, whether they're gonna move
correct.
or visit. You know what I'm saying? So it's about us, man. It's about us and this movement that we got going on.
Facts. I mean,
Mm.
like, as somebody tell you, well, if you come back in 5 years, well, at least I didn't spend what you spent in 5 years.
There you go.
Hey,
Mm. Yeah.
at
There you go.
least
That's
I
what
was
I'm talking
living
about.
luxury for my cost of living when your cost of living. I bet you I got more bank than you. Let me stop. I bet you got more experience than you.
You know it. You know it. You
Still
know
living
it.
in that
Yeah.
But
I was living in luxury, so it's all good. I don't
that's
bet.
where the
Don't
hate
do me. I'm
comes
gonna
in.
do you.
Yeah, that's where the hate comes in and the disconnect. And everybody don't want you to do good. Everybody don't want you to do better than they doing. People
Right,
want
Yeah.
you to be sitting right outside with them, drinking that 40 ounce, smoking that blunt, right with them outside. You
right.
know what I'm saying? They don't want to see you flourish.
And
They
want to
don't
see
want
you
to see you
flourish.
win.
Right. And
God,
that's sad.
God, God did.
God did.
God did.
My God, I know, right?
That's right. That's right.
You gotta say that sometimes because that's a good like shut her downer right there, like kind of shut her downer. You know what I mean? Shut her down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you just put some, you know what I mean? Somebody they get some people will just get jealous of you because you know what, deep down, I just really believe that they want to do it too, but maybe
hmm
they got other issues, or maybe they don't have the courage, or maybe they don't want to make the sacrifice. You know how a lot of people got like they got this passion of always being doing something international. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But they never did it. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
here you come, you doing it, and they gonna dog you because they really just jealous and envy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead
Facts.
Yeah.
of asking questions, you know what I'm saying, and trying to
Facts.
understand how you did it, so maybe they could do it.
Yeah.
I agree. I
Now
agree.
they gotta belittle you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm stupid on some of those things. On top of that, I don't do me, Lord. Lord, you know what?
Facts.
No, it's me because you
I
know how I
agree.
am.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
But look,
This is a big move for all of us. It ain't like we moving, 3 hours away. You know what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
So it,
For
it
sure.
is, it is, it is different, but it's still the same.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
They move all over Texas. They
I
move
mean,
all over
pe-
California.
people will say that and then they don't see you when you here. When you there. Like you know what I
Facts.
mean? So
Yep.
you may live in, you may have family in your city and y'all see each other like a couple times a year anyway. So
Man,
they
yeah.
can
So why
visit
does
or
it,
you could come
so
back.
why does it matter where I live at?
Yeah.
Exactly. The same thing when I told, okay, I had to bring my mom now because things changed when I originally started this process. I lost my dad. Now I got my mom. Nobody really visits my mom. I got a brother to the pop in into. It's 6 kids, 5 boys, 1 girl. The rest of those jokers don't really visit my mom. They used to just bomb on all this stuff. And
Mm.
all of a sudden, my mom was like, okay, yeah, I want to go travel the world. She want to get out of the, stuff, come and live. And she on board with everything. This is what she want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why we made that video. And she was like, oh, forget them niggas. Because all these months and years, you never cared. Now she wants to live her life. You're like, stay shackled. No, and don't
Yeah.
stay shackled for nobody. You got one life, and
Yeah,
tomorrow is not promised. So
Mm.
whatever you want to do, you better do it.
Yeah. That's
I agree.
real.
I
It's
agree.
like it's like the ex that don't want you till you get somebody new. And then they're like,
Yeah,
"Oh, hey, I see
Okay.
yeah,
you. I
yeah.
see you
I
on
agree. I agree.
Instagram." It's like
I
you're the
agree. And
one
like I said,
before.
man, we need to do
But
this. We definitely need to do this while we can do it on our own.
yeah,
While we walking on our own. Like
yeah,
I said earlier, because I don't want to be doing something. I don't want to be in South Africa and somebody's pushing me around in a wheelchair.
Right. You know what I mean?
You know
I'm
what I'm
blessed to do it
saying?
now.
I
feel
can't
you.
drop it like a side in the wheelchair. I can't
That's
Dougie in a
facts.
wheelchair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let me
Yeah.
I'm ready.
find out
I'm
somebody
ready.
doing it.
So when is y'all actual moving?
For me?
Um.
Oh, doing
Both of
it.
y'all.
Yeah. I don't.
Oh, both of us.
Both of y'all.
I don't have a date for us moving, but we will be back top of next year.
So you have a
But I'm
year? You
not.
have a year yet? A year when y'all moving permanently?
I would hope it could be 2023. But the process, the process. That's going to be the biggest factor is the process of obtaining the visa and what we're going to do with our place here. That's the other thing because we want to make sure we don't just like throw it away. We want to make sure if we could either rent it out. It's different options, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, And so that's between those things. I think once that gets cleared up, we get rid of stuff. I got a Mustang out back I need to sell. I got my mother's stuff that I'm probably just gonna have to put in storage. Zoe is a vintage collector, so she has a lot of nice, valuable stuff that we're gonna. Yeah, I don't even know if it makes sense to ship to Africa. That kind of stuff, the semantics of the
Yeah.
process of being prepared to just leave. We not worried about nothing.
Yeah.
We got a pet that we're probably going to have to get rid of because she can't be on that 22-hour flight. So it's like all those things, which I'll admit I've kind of procrastinated on because it's hard to let some of these things go. Even
Mm-hmm.
this place, even this was sentimental. This is the first place we moved in together and we got here during the pandemic. I let my place go. Like it's been a lot. I've already gone through the big moves, like all this, like that's why this is kind of easier for me because I've already dealt with loss and life change. I'll say life changing experiences over
Yeah.
the last 5 years. It's just another thing that's like, all right, well, now we got to do this. We just got to keep going. We going. So that'll determine that, right? But yeah, if I had a genie bottle, I would say end of 2023.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. At
Yeah.
least you're doing it. You know what I mean? At least you're doing it. I mean, everybody's process is different. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Everybody's situation is different. There are things that people have to work out, but at least you never let go of the goal. You got a dream. You're still pushing it. You're still coming to visit. So at least I get to still see you, black stuff. I see
Yeah.
about black people. I get to see all about black people. You know what I mean? So we good. You know what I mean? But yeah, I get it.
When you
Yeah.
moving, Farrah?
Oh, already moved. What you talking about? I've been back and forth. What are you talking about? I've been back and forth. You know what I mean? I've been back and forth because, again, for me, I have a business there. I have a business here. So I go for 2, 3 weeks because I do real estate. So there's training, there's adjustments, there's things. I have so much things I need to soak down. There's the financing, there's different programs that I want to educate my other Black Americans on that they can do to help finance a house if you're not, situated with your visas and yada 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 yet. You know what I mean? So there's investment opportunity. There's so much that I do to soak down. And then I come back because I have a company here that I just switched over leadership. And every now and then they be having these kinks, and I'll be like, okay, we're going to get together. I'll be back in a minute. And you know what I mean? So yes, because I have a full blown business. So for me, it was different. So I'm always back and forth. But when I go, I have so much to do. And that if I go, down for 2 weeks, I have so much compacted in my day because I'm taking a lot of information pertaining to my work there, and I'm compiling it because you understand I'm being a licensed realtor, you know what I mean, in South Africa. So there's so much I'm compiling to do my career, my job efficiently. And there's information I'm also getting that helps out other Black Americans who are trying to do certain things down there, and I'm compiling so much. So my days are like something I'm just boom, 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 boom. It's just like, you know what I mean? Just taking this 1,000-page dictionary and throwing it at me, and I'm trying to digest it so much. So
I feel it.
been back and forth. I'm done.
All right, y'all.
Well,
I wanna have some closing words because I gotta. We hit over
Gotcha.
the hour mark.
So
And we're glad to do this again, especially
anytime.
Stace. I appreciate it, Stace. I'm back in my bag where I can, hop on here. I know I've been dragging my feet, man, but I see what you're doing, and it's definitely inspiring. I love your lives. So yeah, let's closing words from Stace, and then we'll get Farah.
Hey man, just follow your heart. Don't let nobody discourage you. Follow your heart.
thanks.
Absolutely. Farah, you got something to say to people.
Thanks so much for having me on. And I'm always tiptoeing in every now and then. Tip, 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 you know what I mean?
Yeah, for
But
sure.
thanks so
I
much
see
for
you.
having me on. It's a pleasure talking to you guys and talking to you, Stace. I talk to you guys a lot off the screen too.
Right.
But it's always a pleasure to come in and see what's up and just say what's up to the audience. And Zoe, I've definitely got you in Rwanda because I know some things down there too. But you love this Zoe down there. You see
strong.
Queen, she man, listen, that's a real queen right there. Queen to a queen.
Appreciate it.
But I appreciate
Thanks.
it. Thanks so much, you guys, for having me on. It's been a blessing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And check out Farah's channel, y'all. She's amazing. She's doing a lot of stuff within the diaspora for people that want to move over on that side. Stace, Red, amazing. They'll be there in December. Very inspiring podcast where they talk about great discussions between Black Americans and South Africans. I appreciate everybody that watched and having y'all on. Much love and peace from Khalees.
All right,
y'all.
peace out, y'all.
Peace out, brother.
Later.